quote and a paraphrase quote. And what exactly is a quotation? So when we take a quotation or a citation, we are taking a sentence from a source. So here you have a source, the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. So for your worksheet that you're going to do this week, so the website address is over here, www.aacap.org. That's the website address. And then the name of the website will be American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychology. Then the name of the article is going to be Suicide in Children and Teens. And then you're going to be asked to write a direct quote. And so that's what this is going to be about, is what is a direct quote and what is a paraphrase quote and what is a reference citation. And so let's start, and here I'm going to look at here and I'm going to say to myself, what do I need for my paper? Okay, so I would take a direct quote so that it emphasizes what I want to write, and it emphasizes my main idea. And so here I would simply select and copy and paste. All right, well, copy. So for my direct quote, I would copy a sentence directly from the article. And then for my worksheet, I would go to here, direct quote with, so she did this wrong. Obviously it's not this. And so basically what you need is you want to copy and paste a source sentence, and some source sentence that you're going to use for your paper to emphasize your main idea. So here I copy and paste the sentence. Let's hope it works. Okay, there you go. Suicides among young people continue to be a serious problem. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for children, adolescents, and young adults ages 15 to 24. So here, as you can see, I got the sentence directly from the article. Let's see if I can find the article again. Here you go. So this is the same sentence as this. Suicides among young people continue to be a serious problem. Suicide is the leading cause of death for children, adolescents, and young adults ages 15 to 24. So I took this exact sentence, word per word, and then I put it into my worksheet. And I wrote, suicides among young people continue to be a serious problem. Now, when you have a direct quote and you quote directly from word per word, you didn't change any of the words, okay? And so now you got to have a quotation mark over here, and then you're going to have a quotation mark over here. Now the reader's going to say to herself, where did she get that statistics from? How do I know? How do you know that suicide is such a serious problem among 15 to 24-year-olds? Where did this information come from? So that's why then you've got to put in the name of the author, which according to this is ASCAP. So this came from here, the name of the author. And then you put in the date. So I will try to go back to the page to see if there's a date for this page. Voila, it says 2018. So that means that this article dates to June 2018. So I'm going to go back to my, and I'm going to write June 2018. Now, is there a page number, okay, to this? Because you have to see if there's a page number, because when we do a in-text, and this whole thing with the sentence, the quotation marks, and the citation is known as an in-text citation. That means that this citation occurs inside your paper, inside your body paragraph. And right after you write a statistic or age, historical fact, medical fact, any kind of numbers or age, then you have to put quotation marks and then you have to put the name of the author, the date, and if there is a page number. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to say, gee, does this have a page number? I don't see any page numbers. Usually websites don't have page numbers, okay? So obviously this does not have a page number. So if it doesn't have a page number, then we go for paragraph number. This is paragraph number 1 in this article. So therefore, if I go back to my worksheet here, I'm going to write in paragraph 1. That's it, okay? So that is a in-text citation for a direct quote. And a direct quote is when you cite something word per word without changing anything. All I did was I copied and pasted suicide among young people continue to be a serious problem. And then here, if I go back to this, suicides among young people continue to be a serious problem. I didn't change anything. All I did was write in who the author was, and then I put in the date. Okay, so then getting back to your worksheet. So then I got the paraphrase. In a paraphrase, so this person did it wrong. Okay, so we don't write in number 10. When we do a paraphrase quote, we are summarizing in our own words the in-text citation. And so here it says, suicide among young people continue to be a serious problem. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for children, adolescents, and young adults aged 15 to 24. So if I want to say it in my own words, okay, many young adults, children, and adolescents commit suicide all the time. Suicide remains to be a critical issue for young people aged 15 to 24 years of age. Years of age. That's it. So that would be your paraphrase quote. So all I did was I just reworded the direct quote into my own words. Now, this is a common mistake among a lot of people, just left it like this, saying, well, if it's in my own words, I don't need to write the in-text citation if it's my original thought. Well, it's not really your original thought because you're not the one who did the research to figure out, the suicide occurs between people between 15 to 24. You're not the one who spent years doing that kind of research. You read it from somewhere. So even if you summarize the direct quote correctly, you still need to cite who did that research, who came up with those numbers. So that's what, and then here you would write, you don't need to write paragraph 1. And you also don't need to have quotation marks. So this is how you do a direct quote and a paraphrase quote. And this being Ariel's homework, and so Ariel is now going to correct all of her other sources. Let's see, this source has the same mistake, and this source has the same mistake. And Ariel is going to go back and correct this and this. Okay, so you're going to go back and you're going to find here, this is wrong. You need to find the correct, copy and paste a direct sentence. Then she needs to summarize in her paragraph, paraphrase. Same thing down here. She needs to copy and paste her direct quote sentence. And then for her paraphrase, she needs to summarize this sentence. That's it. All right. She did everything else correctly. Okay. And here she has no date when actually the date was June 2018. Okay. So here's June 2018. And then suicide in teens and adults needs to be italicized. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't italicize very well. But anyway, so she's going to italicize, and then she's going to capitalize children and teens. let's see, children and teens. Well, anyway, she's going to italicize that, and then she did everything else correctly. And here, for why is this a credible source? So here she summarized the article. And actually, she needs to write in, why is this a credible article? And so we use CAPOW. See, okay, this article was written 2018, so it is current. So any article that's current within the last 10 years, that's the C in CAPOW. A, this article was written by an expert. A stands for author. So that an article is credible, that is, it's believable, if it's written within the last 10 years, so it's not too old. A, this article was written by an expert, not by some actor or celebrity. Why would you believe an actor or celebrity? And then P, this article is not a TV ad. It is an informative from a medical source. Let's see, I forget the name of them. Then you would name the medical source, and then if you can't remember the name of the medical source, you go back to the article and you scroll up. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, AACAP. So here you have the name of the website. So American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. So here we go back to American Academy. Let's see if I can remember that. American Academy. And so from a medical source, it's American Academy. Oh, I forgot. American Academy of, that goes my memory. American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. Okay, of child and adolescent, of child and adolescent psychiatry. There. So we know that this is a valid medical source written by doctors. So that's how you know that P, purpose. If the purpose of the article is an ad, then it's not credible. Because when someone tries to sell you something, the seller will try to lie to you and exaggerate how well the product works. In other words, they're going to make claims with no evidence. And I already went over in my previous lecture that if you make a claim with no evidence, you have a fallacy. And you have rumors, you have fabrications, lies. Anytime you make a claim with no credible evidence, you are lying. And so in order to tell a lie from a truth, fact from fiction, you always have to make sure that you have credible evidence. You could always back it up. Otherwise, if I say that I was abducted by aliens, this is an example I used in my previous lecture. Well, where's my proof? Why should I believe you? Did you just make that up off the top of your head? So when you make an imaginary claim and you don't have CAPOW, in other words, credible evidence, then it becomes fantasy, becomes a lie. It becomes propaganda, rumor, gossip, and fallacy. And so that's why we use CAPOW to answer the question, is my article credible? And so here I'm on C, it has to be current. A, author, written by an expert. P, purpose. And the purpose is it's not to sell you a product. O is objectivity. And so here the doctors presents the facts, medical facts. And so medical facts are always objective. Objective means that it's neutral. It's not it's not something that's you're trying to take a stand. It's not a persuasive essay where you're trying to and it doesn't have bias where you just have a one-sided argument. And so here, when someone presents something neutral and objective, then it is credible. And so here, that's O for objective, and then W, writing purpose. Writing purpose means writing style means that does this article have logical, in other words, logos? Does it have a good essay structure? Does it have a good thesis statement? And so obviously this article talked about how suicide is a major problem among adolescents. And so here you would say, yes, this article has good logical essay structure because it has one main idea, thesis, that is supported by credible evidence. That's it. So when we answer the question, is this a credible source, we use CAPOW. And when we look at any article that we read, or listen to anything from the radio, or read anything on social media, you can use CAPOW to ascertain if what you're listening to or what you're reading on social media or listening to on TV or radio is true or false. If it doesn't pass CAPOW, then whatever you're listening to or reading is false and is a lie, is fake news. And so on my Friday lecture, I'm going to go over the difference between fake news, real news, between a lie and truth, between fact and fiction, between fake news and real news. And then I'm also going to go over the different kinds of fake news, and then I'm going to teach you how to spot fake news, as well as being able to go over this credible evidence worksheet. And so this worksheet is very important because it teaches you how to create credible evidence for when you write your science papers, when you write your persuasive essays, whenever you make a claim of any kind. You have to always have credible evidence, or else whatever you write is false. And you don't want to write things that are fallacious or lying. Fallacious means something that's lying or untrustworthy. You always want to write something that's factual, accurate, and credible. And so that's the whole purpose of this credible sources worksheet, is to teach you how to do a credible, how to create credible evidence. Anyway, so getting back to Ariel, and so then Ariel just has to correct these three sections, all right? And so once you correct these three sections, you can resubmit your homework to me. If you have any other questions, Ariel, you can feel free to email me. So I think this ends, if I can remember how to end this recording. Ends this recording.